Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cinema d'Amore. I'm your host, Chuck, joined by
Justin.
This week we're talking about the 2024 Irish film Kneecap. I think it might be probably the first Irish film we've ever talked about. I mean, we could count The Departed if you want.
Yeah, that was pretty Irish. Irish-American.
Yeah, but nobody speaks Irish. That's the whole point. Nobody actually knows how to speak Irish there. They just are.
Aren't we all? The Irish love to hear it. My DNA test, I'm mostly Irish, but every time they update it, I'm just a little bit less and a little bit less. That's how much of a mutt I am. For the longest time, I wasn't even Italian on that thing.
More German.
Yeah, I'm pretty German, too.
They uncover another link somewhere in the Nazi regime. They're like, nope, another long-lost relative. And you're like, damn it.
Thankfully, we were out of there, my family, before then, but, they were fighting World War II as Americans, so maybe there's something worse down. I'm sure there's a worse history for my family somewhere down the line, but we weren't Nazis, at least not in the traditional sense of a Nazi.
Yeah, it's an autobiographical film, a biopic, I guess this would be. One of the rare films where the artists perform as themselves. Usually you get a biopic after everyone's already dead and they're played by somebody you've never heard of before.
Typically.
But yeah. I feel like that fits this group's style. They're like, no, we're going to do a biopic when we've only been around for like 5 years. We'll play ourselves. We're the heroes of the story.
It seems like they have a pretty big fan base. I wasn't familiar with them at all before you brought them up, and I think that might have to do with apparently a lot of their ties with the United States have not gone over so well since they're pro-Palestine.
They're banned from a lot of places. Yeah,
I don't even think they're banned here, but they just don't, I guess, do a lot of concerts and stuff here. They just can't get the venues. And I'm not against any of that stuff. I think that's kind of ridiculous to be. You should definitely be against genocide. I think that this movie has the vibes of what I would hope if they ever did a Beastie Boys biopic, that it would be something similar to this, where I was looking up some of the stuff, and obviously not all that happens or transpires in the way that it happens. They seem to be more willing to be caricatures of themselves, I guess. Yeah. And they kind of are making a gangster rap album with this movie, because they tell it like they're pretty hard, except for the one DJ character, JJ.
He's a school teacher. Yeah,
he's a school teacher.
He's a music teacher, so he's got the music background to help him out, but he's not the drug guy until they bring him in and start giving him all the drugs. I do really love the way that they borrow that style from other directors who've done it before, like Michael Gondry, of throwing in the random animation to kind of show those drug scenes, or even just for effect. Like there's scenes where they're in his music class, and while the kids are playing instruments, there's lines radiating off of the guitars when they're playing them, and the drums and stuff. So they just throw those random flourishes in there. But then also there's a moment when they're all claymation out of nowhere. They just they take ketamine instead of cocaine again, and they're all just claymation, and that woman turns into a living radio, and they're like, what the fuck's going on, dude?
Yeah,
did you mix up those drugs again? Yeah, so they're losing their minds.
It was also giving me vibes of Trainspotting, and that was even before the guy went into the garbage can, like Ewan McGregor goes into the toilet. There's one moment where, he kind of goes diving for his acid that he threw away.
He's gonna get more drugs, yeah.
Yeah, and he slips in way too comically or unnaturally, and I really like that.
It's there's no way that garbage can could be that deep that he fully submerges all the way into it when he goes headfirst into it, and then emerges completely back out of it.
Yeah, and I was like, there's the toilet scene right there, and I already had those vibes before we got that far into the movie.
They throw a lot of that really great surreal type stuff in there. The other great moment when he gets on the bus after taking the drugs, and everyone on the bus is like all their clothes are the pattern of the seats on the buses, which is like they look like Dan Flash's patterns. It's just shapes and colors going everywhere. And he's just slowly starting to lose it. And he's just like,
Yeah.
I got to get off the bus.
And that's
I
how
can't
I
ride the
was.
bus
I
home.
smoked before I watched it, and that's pretty early on in the movie where they're
Yeah.
like they're not even just Dan Flash's style. There's actually like a vibing light thing going on,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is insane. But it probably must have been really fun to match the wardrobe to the set dressing like that. It really did make me think of a Spike Jonze music video, because they definitely do, like how you said, like the animation over top of scenes, but they also seem to do some crazy practical effects, but they're so random when they happen.
I think it's a case of it feels very much like a Robert Rodriguez, like they just throw it in when they could. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we found a place where we could do a cool effect or do a cool shot. Should we put it in? And it's like, hey, we have to use what we can. Like this isn't a huge 10-15 million dollar budgeted film. It's a small, kind of independent film from Ireland with all Irish speakers, most of whom aren't going to be well known to anyone outside of Ireland other than Michael Fassbender,
I wasn't expecting him
which
to
I
be in it.
as
I
much. Well, I
Not at
know
all. Like
even prior to watching it, I knew he was in it, but I expected it to just be like a cameo, like he's in one scene, and he's in a lot of the movie. Like he is throughout this film. He keeps popping up over and over. I was like, damn, they
Yeah,
really got
his
Michael
character is
Fassbender to be in
dead.
this.
His character is dead, depending on who you ask, is the the narration with him, which is also really funny. And I did enjoy the beginning where they start with all the war clips when they were fighting England, and
Yeah.
it's really funny where they're like, every Irish movie starts with this, but not our film. It's like your film literally just started with it.
It's a great reference to the fact that he played an IRA character. Well, he played Bobby Sands in Steve McQueen's Hunger, and he
Yeah.
references the fact that he's like living on a beach, and they're like, "What do you call some ex-IRA guy living by himself doing yoga? Bobby Sandals." It's like it's a great like reference to the fact that he's played this type of character before in a much more serious film, and it's like here's a version where you can be more loose, like you can still play that same character, but it is in a more overall comedic setting.
I feel like I heard or read about this film maybe when it came out, wherever it premiered, and then didn't remember anything else about it. And then when I started watching it, and it kind of opens with Michael Fassbender, I'm like, is that Michael Like he's like kind of far away, and he's like in the living room with his kids, and I'm like, show that guy again. Am I just losing my mind? And
You going face blind?
yeah, yeah, almost everything's funny in it. Even the stuff that shouldn't work does. Like there's a really funny like melodramatic scene where he walks around the corner and it's all those like police officers that are all in their like parade gear.
They're like a marching band for it.
They're dressed like they're marching band people. And then it's like he really brings it down to like a very slow, threatening thing where he just like, was he hit the guy and run? So he just like slaps the guy and runs. And it's like in real time, he would have just walked down that alley and just like slapped that guy. And then they start chasing him. And then there's also the funny, like the drummer cannot keep
They
up
cannot
because
keep
it's
up
just
with him.
so yeah, it's just too awkward of a instrument to run with.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I even expected. Like I figured I would like it. I've listened to their music before I watched the movie, and I really enjoyed their music, even though again I don't know most of the lyrics because they rap in a lot of Irish. They throw in American words every once in a while, so you catch bits and pieces of it. But I feel like it's one of those you feel the energy, you know what they're going for with their songs, even not being able to fully understand them. But
That's why
yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
some of it's like reminds me so much of the Beastie Boys, because like that first song that they perform where they're like spelling rights, the word rights out,
yeah,
and it's like so amateurish, but it just really did make me think of early well, I guess all Beastie Boys, where it's just like
Yeah,
that's the shit that they would be doing. You know, they did Girls and tons of other dumbass songs.
yeah.
So I like the
But then
Beastie
got
Boys just
better.
that much.
Like it's the same in a similar way. It started out as like a joke of like three white guys that you wouldn't expect to do rap music, and they kind of did it as a joke at first. But then we're like, actually, we're just really good at this. We could actually do this and not be a joke. We don't have to make joke songs and kind of goofy amateur things. We can make really good songs. And the Beastie Boys went on to make a lot of even better albums than their first album. They got really good at it. So it's similar, but and they use hip hop in the same way. They bring it up that, in America, African Americans used it for freedom, and they use it in a similar way to bring up Irish rights. They want to break away from Britain. That's their thing that they keep saying Brits out.
Yeah, and it was real controversial because like they're still underneath the British rule. And another thing with like the language where like I don't entirely know all their history, but they were killing people for speaking Irish. The idea of rap music on top of speaking in Irish culturally for us as Americans, maybe you kind of miss it even though they do talk about it, but even like in the moment when I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, like I get the idea of culture, but they don't really go over the fact that like, depending on when they were alive, they would have been murdered for speaking in Irish. I do like how they unintentionally become kind of like important in this like movement because it is clearly everything that they're angry about. Even like all their styles and stuff coming together because like I really thought that the way that they did the teacher JJ was really funny, where they needed him to go in because they needed an interpreter for somebody that said they only speak Irish, and that's where he met the one guy. And when he's like in the interrogation, he quickly realizes that this guy doesn't really know Irish. It's kind of like he realizes that it's like rap lyrics that he's working on, and that's all that he's been saying the entire time he's there. But he's intrigued by the rhymes. He's always been like a big music person, so he's intrigued in like hunting this guy down and finding this guy. I was like, I don't know why they made him such a stalker, and I feel like in real life it probably didn't happen so drastically, but they think that it's funny to make him more of like a stalker type character, to be like, yeah, he just came like hunting for us when we weren't really interested in it. And then him as the teacher where he's like going out and on stage, he's like, they explain his whole mask thing where he's like, I can't go out there, people know who I am, and they're like, just put this mask on and you'll be fine. And it kind of becomes like a character thing because I looked up if he was one of the actual members, and he did play himself, because I was wondering like maybe he was incognito and he never like revealed his identity. He's out there, he's like Daft Punk, we know who he is.
Yeah,
And
can't hide
like you
forever.
said, they are really good for non-actors.
Yeah, there's not like everyone in the movie. I mean, I think they're the only three that are not professional actors. Everyone, even the ones that you wouldn't recognize if you don't see the movie, are all actors. And yeah, I don't know. It fits in, I guess, because their three characters are supposed to be kind of somewhat bumbling idiots. So even if they don't come off as smart or sophisticated, it's like they're not supposed to. They are kind of supposed to be idiots from the street. So it's okay if they don't seem to fit in that well with the much better actors. And it's like, well, yeah, these three are druggies. They're idiots. It's fine. They're just like that.
I mean, I wouldn't pass up the opportunity if I was making a biopic and everybody was still alive to like cast them in it, because I
Yeah.
think they can play themselves just fine. But yeah, they even make the teacher seem kind of like an idiot too, where like they have that whole scene where his studio, quote unquote, burns down, and they're like, "You had that backed up, right?" He's like, "Fuck." Which he finds out that he kind of sort of did in a way, like he didn't lose everything because he was like recording it in his keyboard. But I do like them, like even before their first performance, when he's the one guy that's with his girlfriend, or his friend with benefits or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I rap on the side. And she's like, what? And he's like, in Irish. And she's like, you're fucking with me. So the next day is like, dude, I set us up. We're gonna rap. They're like, we don't have any songs. Which sounds like some of the bands that we were familiar with. I think The Clash is like infamous for starting a band without anyone knowing how to play any of the instruments. And look, they grew too. So
Yeah, it's a very punk rock thing. Just form a band. We'll figure out the songs later. We'll
I
figure out
feel like when
music
we did
later.
the Velvet Underground documentary, I feel like they were very similar too.
Yeah, probably when we did the Stooges like another band that's like, I don't know, pick up a guitar and we'll do it later. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
when we did those two movies, our music biopics, I feel like they were specifically the people that we're talking about,
Yeah.
where they're like, yeah, we just started a band, nobody really could play anything or do anything, and here we are today.
This movie also is a great. I love the way they show their drugs, like they're the radical Republicans against drugs, and they're
Yeah,
like, "You got to tell us who your supplier is," and they do that whole thing where it's like, "Our supplier, the postman." It's like he doesn't even know he delivers drugs to us. We order it off of the dark web, and he just drops it off at this address. Like that's where we get our supply from. There's no like shadow figure.
it's also, yeah, we buy it on the dark web, and then it's really funny when the government like tracks it down and they're like, so you've been getting this in the mail, have you? Yeah, the radical Republicans against drugs are really fucking funny.
Our rad.
Are rad, and they're like, your first word's radical. It's terrible. You guys need to work on it. And then they make that deal where they're like, we want you to sell drugs for us.
Yeah,
They're
we're
like, wait,
radical Republicans before we're against drugs.
yeah, it's in the name.
We're not the radical Republicans against making money.
Right. They seemed like the funniest, like out of left field group. So I don't know if they were real or if they really like had somebody like shoot up one of their concerts, like how that went down in the movie. But
Yeah. And it's a great. I do like the reveal that we get of them because it's always just the guy that's the head of the RRAD, and he's always got like his two henchmen with him. And then when they're kind of like exposed, they play the recording of them trying to make the drug deal, even though they've been saying they're against drugs this whole time. And they chase him down, and Michael Fassbender's like, I'll take care of my son," and he's immediately like, "That guy works for MI5. That guy's been reporting to the police this entire time." Like, he's like, "What kind of operation are you running here? You got these two guys like they've been working for the government the whole time. You've been letting them in on everything."
yeah,
They're just surrounded by bumbling idiots.
it's a pretty good stylized movie that I would recommend. You found it. It's on Hulu. I think it was just
Yeah.
added.
It was on Netflix. I got worried because I picked it and then I looked it up because it was on Netflix, and I was like, cool, it's on Netflix. And then as I clicked on it, it was like leaving tomorrow, and I was like, well, I really hope it moves somewhere else because I don't have time to watch it before tomorrow.
That's the meme that I've been seeing recently about Netflix, where they're like, Netflix will let you search the title. It'll even suggest the title.
And then it'll go,
So
oh,
you'll
we
click
don't have
on it
that
and it'll be
title.
like, we don't have that. Yeah, it's not here.
But we got a movie similar to it. What are you looking for? Harry Potter? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? How about Percy Jackson?
They're like, have you watched Soul Plane? I think that is something that you might like. Yeah, and it's a very fun, like neon, colorful type thing that makes me think of Harmony Korine would maybe possibly do too. I don't know if it's his
Yeah,
style. It's not really his style, like 100%, but it does have that like Breakers vibe. And it's not
yeah.
just the ski. It's not just the ski mask, but that also helped. That also helps it feel like that.
It's not just the ski mask, the drugs, the guns.
The alien. Well, they have their famous cameo with James Franco, so
Yeah,
I think this one's doing much better.
much better with Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I mean, as of today's recording, he hasn't disappointed us. There'll be like a huge scandal by the time this comes out.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender, serial killer.
Well, his wife's Alicia Vikander. I don't remember seeing her in anything for a while. And then they're in that new North Korean movie, Hope.
feel like Tomb Raider was the last thing I can remember her being in.
I feel like she's been doing like a bunch of more like period
Or maybe
piece
it's
stuff
been,
since
yeah, or
then.
it's been more like foreign things that haven't been super mainstream.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they both had their video game adaptations. Hers was probably better than his. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed. You probably forgot about it.
Yeah.
He still has a career. Yeah, hers wasn't even that bad. Hers wasn't that bad. It was just, it felt very low budget and they didn't do anything with it. And, you know.
Yeah.
But, anyways, they're also in that movie. And I don't think, I saw the trailer like 2 times now. And I don't remember seeing them even in the trailer. Their names just come up. It's like Korean guy, Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander. And I'm like, okay.
You watch a movie, they're not in it, and you're like, what?
They're in the opening scene. They have like
Yeah.
their cameo is like, we die in the first the first 5 minutes of this movie. Either that or he's like the American president. Because I heard rumors about Godzilla Minus Zero having a big American actor in it. They don't want to reveal.
I mean, I feel like it's got to. They're in New York at some point in that film, so they've got to have they've got to have something in there.
I feel like I don't know who the actor's gonna be. Like I've seen people
Raymond
be like,
Burr, AI Raymond Burr,
another Burr. I saw people bring up Tom
Bill
Cruise,
Burr.
and I'm like, that's not that unrealistic. Like he loves that shit, so
Yeah.
I could see him in it. But my thinking is that he's gonna end up he has to be the president of the United States, right? Like that's always who the American is that you see is the president.
It's got to be someone, someone in the government, someone high up.
It's Tom Cruise, the pizza man. Like, oh shit. Or they bring back like Matthew Broderick or something weird. Like they go really crazy with it.
It's Bryan Cranston. They resurrect him. They're like, you didn't use him right in your Godzilla movie.
He's like, I died in that world. I didn't die in this world. He's the voice of Godzilla. Godzilla speaks.
It's like, it's more like Jurassic Park 3. It's a dream sequence where he's like, hey guys, Alan, wake up.
Alan. I wish it's not a dream sequence and it's just a giant Godzilla just being like, Alan. Obviously, you can listen to their music. Chuck sent me their music first, and I was like, he's like, this is what we're going to do next week. And he sends me albums, and I'm like, I don't know, is this code for something? Because I don't know. He's like, there's a movie, and it's based off of them, and it's literally called Kneecap, the name of their group. But yeah, it looks like it was recently added to Hulu, so
should be on there for a while, hopefully.
Yeah, if you're listening to this relatively soon, it should still be there. I would rent it for $4 or whatever if it were to come down to that.
Yeah, it's a good one worth checking out. It's just we had to go something fun. We went way depressing last week, so I had to balance that back out.
I don't think I can get that depressing again. It's definitely going to be fun next week too. Well, the next episode we do them bi-week. We've been doing them bi-weekly. Yeah, I got that picked out ahead of time. I think it's really funny. I think it's a really funny movie, so I think that Chuck's gonna feel good about that one. Even the stuff that's pretty violent is also funny in it. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie made ketamine funny.
Makes you sit there and go, I think I do want some drugs. Those guys look like they're having a good time.
Yeah. You OD, you die.
Yeah. The first time you try.
We're the radical Republicans against drugs. We were talking about the drug thing too. They were doing their concerts where they were like giving out drugs. That's how they got people to show up at their shows. Like, they literally have them like throwing drugs at the kids, and they're like, "Yeah, they're the best." It's like, hopefully you balance that out right, where you're actually making money off of it. And they're like, we're losing money because we're just throwing drugs at people. Also, I really do like that their very first performance, where they just had like 6 old guys and like one girl that I think worked there who was like somewhat younger. So like she starts recording with her phone, and typically in a biopic music, it's gonna be, oh, this is the moment where they're like absolutely their best. They fucking botch it really badly, and it's really fucking funny. And I feel like everyone shows up to the second show because they're like, yeah, they're rapping in Irish. It's fucking weird. We got to go see. That's not because everybody was like overly impressed.
Yeah. But then
the
that's
second
the
show-
first time when they're like he's like, I think I might have given us ketamine instead of coke. I had it in the wrong pocket. they're like rolling over on the stage when they come out. Like one guy's like barely holding on to the railing, like trying to keep himself upright.
Yeah, that performance is really good too, because it's like, yeah, where he's like doing all these cool moves on the stage, but it's like, you know that it's the drug view and probably not realistically what's happening. He's just probably just laying on the stage. But yeah, it's definitely fun, and I'll have to listen to more of their music. And they do sound like they're for really good causes, so I became a fan.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know Irish.
You'll have to learn that and Japanese. They go together so well.
At least they're places where English is heavily spoken still.
Yeah.
We'll have to make a trip somewhere where we can't fake it. English is not like a second language at all. We're gonna go to like some remote island somewhere where it's like, yeah, they don't even know that anyone exists off this island.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a load of fun. We'll be back in 2 weeks with one battle after another, which I think Charles will enjoy greatly. I really thought it was a great movie. Like, it's really fucking funny, and we'll get into that.
It'll be good.
Yeah. Press out.
This is Cinema d'Amore. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for upcoming episodes. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and wherever podcasts are heard. Subscribe, rate, review, and above all else, thank you for listening.